Awesome.
Now, 1, 2, 3. Oh, they got it.
The author of over 30 million books sold. 30 million. Wow. Put your hands together, give Mr. Rick Riordan a warm provo welcome. Mr. Rick Riordan.
Crazy awesome. This is the one that got me into mythology. So from there I got into the Greek myths. That's the first Greek myth book I read in middle school. And, you know, I've been reading mythology and loving mythology ever since. And about the time that I was in 8th grade, there's me in 8th grade, dig the hair. You know, this teacher said, you know, you should maybe think about writing, Rick. You've done some really good writing for me, too. And after 2 months, this is what came in the mail. That's my first rejection note. Yeah. I mean, for a rejection note, it's pretty nice. You can see it's so old that it's written on carbon paper with a type. What happened? They all went out, bought the book, started highlighting the bad words, and I got very embarrassed. And they said, Mr. Riordan, why aren't you writing books for kids? I mean, you're a teacher, you tell stories all the time in class. Why are you writing for adults? Well, looking back on it, I see now that they had a point. But at the time, I didn't know what I would write. What it really took for me to change my mind was when my own eldest son was in 1st grade. That's Haley, my eldest son. Yeah, he doesn't look like that anymore, he's 17 now. But when he was in 1st grade, he was having a tough time. He didn't like reading, he didn't like writing. I didn't know what was going on because I'd been reading to him since he was a baby. He said, I really do like the Greek myths. And I said, oh, hey, I've done the Greek myths with my students for years. Why don't I tell you some stories? So I told him about Hercules, and I told him about Jason and the Argonauts, and I told him about the Olympian gods. It was great fun. I told him about Zeus and Athena, Ares, Poseidon. But eventually I ran out, and he got mad. He said, Dad, tell me another one tonight. They're really good. I said, well, there aren't any more. There haven't been any new ones in 2,000 years. And he said, well, make one up. I said, make one up? How do you make up a Greek myth? But I thought about it, and I thought about all the things Haley was going through, and I said, you know, okay, I got this. And I made up, off the top of my head, this modern-day demigod, whose name was Percy Jackson. You want to write that down? I said, I don't have time. I mean, I'm teaching full-time. I'm already writing a book a year. He said, no, really, seriously, Dad, you need to. I said, okay, fine. I did. I wrote the story down. I showed it to some world, some wonderful, wonderful stories. I started thinking about that. And to answer the second question, I think my favorite mythology that's not Greek and Roman has to be Egyptian. Oh, there's some great stories. And so yesterday, the last book in the trilogy was released. I just didn't want to do the same old thing over and over, like Percy Jackson 6, Percy Jackson 17, Percy Jackson 35, here comes the Minotaur, again. I wanted to sort of play with it and twist it around a little bit. And I started thinking, well, what would it be like if there was a Roman camp too, and the two camps didn't know about each other? What would that be like if suddenly they found out? And that's where I got the idea for going back to the Heroes of Olympus series. Almost finished work, not the revisions, but I've almost finished most of the main work on the third book in the series, which will be out in October, The Mark of Athena.